Hi people. So SAG right now is currently on strike. And so is the WGA. They've been on strike for 70 days, I believe, because their demands still haven't been met. There still haven't been negotiations. So SAG has gone on strike not only in solidarity with the WGA, but they also have asked themselves. But there's an issue. Now, there are influencers on TikTok that cover movies and film and do deep dives, and they even get invited to like movie premieres. They have a great hold on how people receive Hollywood and movies and television in general. And yet there are some of them who aren't in solidarity with the actors. And so I want to talk about scabbing. I want to talk about the SAG strikes, their ask, worker solidarity, and all of that, because I think it's very important. In fact, I did an entire, in college, I did, in my communications class, I did an entire speech on, unionizing. So I think, I've done research on this. Who better to talk about it than me? I originally was going to do, because there's a Black Mirror episode that literally kind of predicted this, and I was gonna do it from that angle, but I might possibly want to join WGA in the future, or the Directors Guild, or any type of guild that is in correlation with making film and TV eventually. So because I'm an animator, so if I want to do that, I'm scared that I might violate their ask and the request from the public if to be in solidarity. So I want to be in solidarity with SAG and WGA, so I'm gonna do it from a different angle and cover the influencers on TikTok who have been wilding out. So what is SAG fighting for? They want no scans of background actors or actors in general. Companies are trying to do this really weird thing, which is the thing that Black Mirror predicted, where they are trying to do this really weird thing where they do AI scans of particularly background actors so that they can take their likeness and never have to use them ever again, which is wild, absolutely wild, because there are plenty of actors that have gotten their start in background acting and wouldn't be in the position they are now if it had just stopped on that one day and that one company owned their likeness, so they couldn't go to another company or another studio and do work for them. They would just be locked out of working entirely, which is so eerie and dystopian and so disgusting that they would even think they have the audacity to think they could do that. It's just really weird. They are also asking for streaming revenue shares. So that is also similar to what the WGA is asking, which is that streaming services like Netflix and Amazon and wherever you stream they don't give as much residuals to writers and actors as they used to, because with streaming they have just basically found another loophole to not pay people for their labor. Now, I think a lot of people, whenever they think of actors going on strike, they're like, oh, you're rich, why do you need to have more money? Not everybody in SAG or WGA is a famous writer actor. There are plenty of SAG members that are just getting their start as background actors, are just getting their start wherever they can. So not everybody in these unions are established actors like Margot Robbie or Ryan Gosling, and even if they are, it's not even about that. All workers deserve to be compensated fairly for their labor. Margot Robbie and her contribution to the Barbie movie per se is she's the main face of that. If she didn't get fair compensation whenever she's the main person, the main actor for the movie, then that would be insanely unfair. Even if she is super rich, it doesn't matter. It's about your labor and what you contribute to the product. That should be reflected in your compensation. That's all it's about. So like I said, if a show is wildly successful, an actor or writer should see that reflected in their pay, because they put in the labor, and without writers, without actors, there would be no product. So why aren't they getting the fair compensation, the fair residuals that they deserve? It's not an unreasonable ask, despite what big media is saying. It's not an unreasonable ask at all. It's quite fair. They also have other things that they're asking for. So besides the streaming revenue and AI, they also want pay increases. That's the artificial intelligence thing I was talking about. They want to roll back self-taped auditions, pension and health contributions, actors access, other things. They have other things they're asking for, but those are for the most part the main things. So let's get into this issue with influencers scabbing. And what is scabbing? Because probably most of you don't know what that means. So what is that? Basically, scabbing is whenever a worker crosses the picket line. So whenever workers go on strike, companies will look for people to replace those workers that are on strike. And so those replacement workers are called scabs. Crossing the picket line can be metaphorical too. It can be so influencers can do it too. It's not a physical, it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It can also be a metaphoric thing. It's just basically when you go beyond what the union is requesting, when you were anti-union, that. So there is an influencer by the name of Straw Hat Goofy. He's a black content creator that has been invited to movie premieres and is like pretty well known in this space. I have to re-record this part because the audio didn't record from the video that we were watching. So let's try this again. Also, while you're here, if you made it this far, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm trying to get monetized. I don't know if that's gonna happen for a while, but I'm trying. So please help me. Thank you. Let's see what he had to say
on my videos about what I said about the writer's strike and how I was going to proceed as a content creator. Just got done hosting a live stream, listening to a lot of different people's perspective on it from both sides. I can openly admit that I was really tone deaf and wrong in how I went about doing that skit, especially since I failed to kind of really explain what I meant by doing more promotions. To the actors and writers who are currently on strike, I just want to say that I am sincerely sorry for what I said in that video and how I wasn't clear with what I meant. So to be 100% clear, I said that I was going to keep doing movie promotions, but what I neglected to say was that I am under contract from the studios for the next couple months to do those movie promotions. Similar to the actors who were under contract to promote the movies before they eventually walked out, I myself is similarly under contracts. Not talking about new hires, not talking about the studios hiring me for jobs that the actors can't do. This was content that was filmed days, weeks, even months ago with actors that knew that they were going to go on strike. Not promotional content that I was hired to replace actors with, but as a separate entity to promote the film together. And I came across this content creator who actually got a response from SAG. I actually emailed them myself and still haven't gotten a response 8 hours later. But she actually got a response from them and said that it is okay for me to do it if I'm under contract. Although I said I was going to pivot my content to focus on older movies versus the newer ones that are coming out. But I realized that it doesn't matter because I failed to provide that context in a skit that was very tone deaf. So once again, I apologize in making it seem like I'm in support of the writers and actors while still trying to get mine monetarily. But I can definitely tell you, as someone who just wants to talk about movies for a living, not be an actor, not even be a part of SAG, I'm in full support of the writers and actors who are fighting for the things that they deserve.
So that's what he said. Now after all of that, it does seem like he understands why people are mad at him, what the issue was, and that he is just going to focus on, like, even in the comments. Let me see if I can bring up the comments. Okay, in the comments it even said like, oh, I'm gonna focus on like East Asian cinema and like Bollywood, and like finding ways to not and be in conflict with SAG. So that's good. He since deleted the first video, which is what I wanted to show, but it seems like he understands. And that's cool and that's important. Although he is not the only one. And so we do have a video from Sean the Black addressing why his original skit was inappropriate. And honestly, I feel like this is just a better, like a broader, good video for other influencers who are thinking about scabbing. And because there's others that do like movie and cinema on TikTok and do things similar to Straw Hat Goofy and are like, no, I don't really care about SAG, you know. So I think it's a good video for that. So let's watch it.
Watch the Stitch video and then Straw Hat's follow video. It's all basically him just kind of coping as to like why he's not technically a scab. There are a couple of things I want you to keep in mind. Straw Hat is one of the biggest movie profiles on the platform. Movie studios don't invite him to premieres because they expect nothing in return. He is, as he said in this video, a promoter. One that studios see the value in, otherwise why would they keep inviting him back? So when he says in the literal next sentence that the strike prevents actors and writers from doing the things that he will continue to do, call it what you want, that's scummy behavior. I think this all kind of stems from a lot of people viewing this as like three camps. You have the writers and actors who are going on strike, the movie studios who they're striking against, and then everybody else. Straw Hat believes because he's not in group one that his hands are like morally clean from whatever decision he makes in the situation. However, that's not reality. In reality, there are two groups, the capital owning class and the workers. And I think all too often, because the society has absolutely no worker solidarity, we don't view this as workers, people who are like us, getting more of the labor back that they generate for companies. We view it instead like, well, how is this going to affect me? Which, funnily enough, is the only way that Straw Hat has covered the strike so far. I don't know, this video just didn't sit right with me. Also, peep the long hair.
The long hair does look good. Lock gang, am I right? Lock gang. But yeah, that was a really good video on worker solidarity, and he's so right that in America we do not view it that way at all. We have no semblance of worker solidarity, and we just, like he said, view it in three camps, when in reality the SAG strikes are my voice. The SAG strikes are a good precedent for every worker in this country. They are a good precedent for UPS workers that are about to go on strike, or maybe they're already on strike. They're a good for Starbucks employees, for anybody who wants to unionize, for animators who are trying to unionize. They are a good, this is a good precedent for that, to show that you have power. You have power to come together as a group and make your requests be known, that you are the product, and without you, these companies would crumble. That is what all of this is about, is getting back, like he said, what you generate. But people just don't view it that way because we live in the great place of America, and they've just basically been, I don't want to say brainwashed, but we've been conditioned to believe that basically it is what it is, and you know, to have this like apolitical stance on everything, whenever in reality being apolitical honestly is a political move in itself. I don't know, it's just, there's a lot that goes into it. Technically, Straw Hat Goofy, like I've already said, would not be in violation if he is sticking true to his word and will not do anything beyond those contracted obligations that he already had. Like I said, other influencers are thinking about doing things similar to the way his original sketch came off, and just like being like, F you SAG, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I want, I'm gonna be a scab, and I'm gonna go far, when in reality none of that is good or true. So I also want to show another example of scabbing from Sean the Black again. He just makes good videos, go follow him. And yeah,
people like me cannot take deals to deliver things inside of our wonderful
See, he's memeing, and funny meme, right? But this actual thing is happening currently right now in a way that I haven't seen many people touch on. But instead of being UPS drivers, it's Amazon drivers. Let me introduce to you something called Amazon Flex. Now, you may be asking yourself, Sean, what is Amazon Flex? Well, Amazon Flex is a program run by Amazon to deliver packages in your own vehicles. And you also may be asking yourself, Sean, doesn't that already exist? Don't they already employ drivers to deliver their packages? There are already labor and workplace conditions issues with those drivers as well. And as a result of that treatment, these workers had started to unionize. Amazon did. Well, obviously they launched Amazon Flex, which they contract their workers instead of employing them. So essentially what they launched as a flexible way to make money, akin to like Uber Eats, DoorDash, or other gig economy services, literally operates as a platform for them to hire scabs for their actual delivery drivers. So yeah, instead of worrying about pesky things like paying their employees healthcare and benefits, they can just move that over to a third-party contractor.
That video, whenever I originally saw it, literally blew my mind because I didn't even think about it that way. Now we could get into like gig economy stuff and why that's kind of a little iffy, but just sticking with Amazon, like I said, is also a company that makes movies and TV shows. They make The Boys, which is a really popular TV show that everybody watches and loves, you know? And so they are very heavily anti-union. Like Jeff Bezos does not like the Amazon union, and they have been in violation of, you know, they've just done scummy stuff when it comes to the union, already have issues with their workers. And so they do stuff like this to honestly basically trick regular people who are just trying to get some money, some extra money, to scab for them. It's just messed up. It's messed up to not present it in the way that it actually is. Because somebody's like, oh, I can just make some extra money by delivering some Amazon packages. Oh, wait, you're actually scabbing for the Amazon delivery drivers. It's just messed up on so many levels. Okay, I'm gonna throw it back over to my original self. See you later. Bye. So many, like I said, media outlets have been critical of the SAG and WGA strikes because, oh, it put this janitor out of work because Universal Studios doesn't need to clean up if there's no production. Oh, it put this person out of work, which is bad for those people. But like I said, the precedent that these strikes will set for all workers in this country is way greater than what all of us have to go through now. Okay, what some influencer has to go through, I'm sure it sucks, but this will benefit. You know, I feel like in America, we don't look at it this way. We don't look at it as a collectivist, in a collectivist mindset, that doing these things will benefit people in the future. You know, the strikes that WGA did in, like, what was it, 2008, benefited the writers that are doing it now. Like, everything that these workers and these unions are doing benefit the people that will come after them. And it just is, it's like a rolling, you roll the benefits down the hill, you know. The next person gets even better, even a better position in this industry. And it sets a precedent for every union in the country, every worker in the country. And it's a great way to, we should be looking at this and being like, whoa, I can unionize in my workplace too. I should join a union if I'm like an animator or I don't know, a UPS driver. Like I should become part of that too. I should be supporting these people too, because it's just a great example of how workers can come together and have autonomy in their workplace and get what they want and what they deserve. That's all it should be shown. But like CNN and all these other media outlets are putting it out there as like this bad, grimy thing that's affecting people poorly, and it's not. It's gonna help every worker in this country. I can't even put into words how great of a thing these actors are doing, what these writers are doing, it is so, it's great. I mean, it makes sense. We are run by capitalism, so obviously we're not gonna have the best attitude towards unions, but I want more people like Sean that are standing behind unions and workers and fighting for worker solidarity. It's very important. So hopefully there's someone who watched this video and had their mind changed or is also fighting for workers too. Anyways, that's all I got. Support SAG, support WGA, power to the people. Okay, bye.